Dear students, welcome to this lecture on business communication, and I am Dr. Tripti Barthwal. I am Director, Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management and Development Studies, Lucknow. And the last lecture, that was lecture 36, was also on business etiquettes, and as I had told in the last lecture that we will be continuing with this topic in the next lecture. So, this lecture is also on business etiquettes. So, we have already discussed the meaning of business etiquettes and why they are important. Then we had discussed that these business etiquettes can be classified into three categories, and first was appearance related etiquettes, second was interpersonal etiquettes, and the third was professionalism etiquettes. So, we have already finished with the appearance based business etiquettes in the last lecture, and we had started with the interpersonal etiquettes, and we had discussed about certain general interpersonal etiquettes till the last lecture. Now, we will move ahead with the interpersonal etiquettes, and certain other general etiquettes in interpersonal is that when you receive a phone call on the intercom, then you should try to answer as quickly as possible, because when you are receiving a call on the intercom, that means it is for official purpose, somebody wants to contact you. So, you should not while away time. If you are free, then you should pick the phone immediately, or if you are talking having a personal call with somebody, chat with somebody on the mobile, then you should disconnect and you should answer to this official call immediately. Then the tone of voice. The tone of voice, again you have studied business communication in the other units also, and you know that what words are spoken is not that important, but in what tone they are spoken, that is more important. So, if I say that I did not say that you are an idiot, right. So, if I am emphasizing on you, I did not say that you are an idiot. That means I did use the word idiot, but it was not meant for you. And if I say I did not say that you are an idiot, so then the emphasis was on me, that I have not used this word either for you or for anybody else. So, the tone of voice, the words may be the same. So, when you pick up the phone or when you are speaking to somebody, then the tone of voice should be very pleasant yet professional. That means you should not be talking about nonsense, or you should not be talking about, you should not be very lousy in your attitude, or very informal in your attitude, but you should be very pleasant also. Then if a call has been missed, suppose a customer has called you on your cell phone and you have somehow missed the call because you were in a meeting or you were busy, then you have to call immediately. So, return calls as soon as possible. Once you get the time, once you are free, then that your responsibility should be to call back. Then very negative thing in the office to do is eavesdropping. That is, you are secretly trying to hear somebody else's conversations, which is not the right thing to do. Suppose you are moving near to your boss's office, you are going across from his chamber to somebody else's chamber, and you hear something which is being discussed inside important, and you try to listen to it. So, that is a very wrong etiquette. It is not a part of rather an etiquette, it is a wrong act to do. So, that should not be there. In fact, if you are in some place, if you happen to be in some area of the office due to some work, and there are two people discussing something and they have not noticed you, so they are still discussing and you are there. So, you should let yourself be known to them that you are there, so that after that they know that you can hear what they are speaking. So, that is the right kind of an etiquette. Then no vulgar words, no abusive language, no bad words should be used in any official, rather they should not be used in any formal or informal communication, but because we are talking about business etiquettes here. So, no in no organizational communication such words should be used, neither oral nor written. And then no gossiping, right? You know, making stories about persons, other people, floating rumors or giving those rumors and leverage, or keep continuously discussing about those things. That is not the right thing, because you as a person lose credibility when you are passing on rumors or you are creating rumors, because people do not know, they will never come to know who started the rumor, but they will definitely remember that it is the you that who passes on the rumor to them every time. So, you will get that tag of a rumor monger, which is not the right kind of a thing for you to have. Then certain things which you have to take care of in interpersonal during meetings. Firstly, arrive on time. In formal etiquettes, in business etiquettes, 5 minutes early is also considered late. So, you have to be very particular about timing, respect the time of other persons and arrive on time. And so, because you should not look hurried, right, you should look relaxed, you should be prepared. So, it will give you that kind of a leverage to be relaxed and to be at ease, to be at a comfortable position. Then next thing is introduction. Now, introduction, you have to follow a protocol, that is that the juniors have to be introduced to the seniors, right. So, that, and you have to, if you have convened a meeting and if people are new to each other, then it is your responsibility to get them introduced to each other. Then next is that, again, if we have discussed this in lectures related to business meetings also, that if you have convened a meeting, then the agenda of the meeting should also be clear to the people before they arrive for the meeting. So, that if they have to come with certain documents, if they have to come ready with certain information, or if they have to come prepared for an idea, with an idea, or for that matter even if they do not have to bring in anything for the meeting, they should be knowing, because it is their time which you are using. So, they should be knowing that what is the purpose of the meeting, what they are going to discuss in the meeting as an individual, that kind of a respect they deserve. Then of course, goes without saying that when you are attending a meeting, then the phone should be on silent, on a vibrator mode. It is better to be on a silent mode, because even the vibrator mode, people can come to know that somebody's phone is ringing. So, it should be on a silent mode. And then during a meeting, especially in a formal meeting, if you are working with an MNC or so, handshakes are very common. They are a part of when you meet each other for the first time at the start of the meeting, and when once the meeting finishes off, then handshakes take place. So, you should be very clear about what is a handshake, or what is the right kind of a handshake, right. So, if you are giving a hand which is very feeble and which is not crisp, then this is not kind of a right handshake. So, this is known as the dead fish handshake, wherein it seems that you are not interested in doing this. Then the other type of handshake which you need to avoid is a very hard handshake, that the other person gives you his hand and you just kind of put a lot of pressure on the hand. This is known as a knuckle grinder handshake, that it seems that you are about to break the knuckles, these bones of the person. Then this kind of handshake, wherein there is equal importance being given to both the parties, there is equal pressure being applied by both the parties, the hands are on the equal level, and nobody there is equal kind of a pressure, that is it is seeming that both the parties are equally interested also and nobody is putting a force on the other person. This is termed as the right kind of handshake. So, as I said, these are the two handshakes which we need to avoid, and this is the handshake which we should practice. Then coming to interpersonal, certain dining etiquettes. So, many times what will happen that there will be business lunches or business dinners, there is a conference, anything wherein we require to have food together. So, what are the do's and don'ts which we need to keep in mind? First thing is seniors should be seated first. So, this goes without saying that first we should allow our seniors to take the seat and then we should take the seat, or we should rather offer seat or offer a chair to the seniors and then we should look for a seat for ourselves. Then there is a napkin, generally in good hotels and restaurants there would be a paper thick paper napkin, sorry not a paper napkin, a cloth napkin for you. And where do you put this napkin? Generally people do not understand where they should put this napkin, but it should be put on your lap. Wait for all people to be served before beginning. This is very important. You know, when you have ordered a la carte, the waiter brings you certain things and one by one he is serving everybody. So, once your plate is full, you start eating. No, that is not the right kind of an etiquette. You wait for the last person to get all the things and then you start. And even if it is a buffet, then once your plate is through, you wait for others also in the queue to get their plates full and then you start eating once everybody has started. Then eat at a moderate speed. You may be a very quick eater, you may be a very slow eater, but when you are in a group, in a formal gathering, then you have to make sure then that you eat at an average speed. You should not eat fast that you finish your food and others are still in the middle of their food and you look here and there and you look bored. And you should not eat that slow that people have finished and you are still halfway and people are waiting for you and everybody is observing and staring you that once you finish your food then everybody will be free. So, at home when you are on your own then you can eat at whatever speed you want, but when in a formal group then you should eat at a moderate speed. Then chew with mouth closed. So, many people have this bad habit, they will fill their mouth and then they will open their mouth and then chew and lot of sound they will create. So, always when you are chewing the lips should be closed, your teeth should not be visible. Then sit straight. You have gone for relaxing, you have gone to have lunch, but that does not mean that you have gone over there for sleeping, right. So, please ensure that wherever you are sitting you should not be, the posture should be a professional posture, it should be a straight back. Then towards the end of the soup, for example, you are having soup. Now, what happens then the soup bowl, very little quantity of soup is left. So, you do not have to take the bowl and just take the soup like this, but you have to tilt the soup bowl away from you like this, right, away from you, outward towards you, and from the spoon get the soup inside out. Now, once you tilt the spoon to outside towards you and then you use the spoon like this to get the whatever remaining soup is into your spoon and then you can have it. Then you also need to remember that if you are the first person to leave the restaurant, then you should keep the door open till the second person is out. You should not close the door because generally the doors will have a door closer and the second person is moving out and the door goes bang on his face. So, you should take care that once you move out you keep the door on hold so that the second person also comes out and then probably he will take care of the door, but you should not just leave the door like that. Then certain things which you need to avoid. First is place your purse or laptop bag on the table. You know, some people have this very bad habit. They will have a big purse or a bag or a laptop bag, and they will come to a restaurant or they will come to the dining table and place it there. It is a big distraction, a big barrier for others and for the movement of dishes on the table. So, you can look for some other chair, or you can place it on the floor if you can place it, or you can look for some other arrangements, or if the couch on which you are sitting or the sofa on which you are sitting is broad enough, then you can place it on your back, on your side, something of that sort. Then you should not eat or chew something while speaking. So, firstly, while having food, try to speak as less as possible, and if you have to speak, then once the food in your mouth is swallowed inside, then start speaking. So, though both the things should not go together. There are chances it looks very bad, distasteful, and there are chances that the food also spills out from your mouth. So, that you have to take care. Then the food, maybe suppose you have gone in summers to have the lunch, and the food is very hot. So, please, this is again a behavior should be avoided. This is very spontaneous in us, that we will blow the food, right, because from childhood itself, if something is hot, the mother would say or the parents would say, just blow your food, right, put some air from your mouth. So, that should not be done in a formal gathering. Then while you are sitting and you want to relax, you have put your elbows on the table like this, or you are sitting like this. This is not the kind of the right posture we should have in a formal dining scenario. Then you know, once the food is over, you have done with your food, you take a toothpick and start, you know, removing all the remnants of food from your teeth. This is not good, does not send a good impression. Similarly, you know, some remnants of food are there on your fingers, and you start licking your fingers one by one. Oh, that gives a very awful feeling to others. So, there is a napkin which has been there for this purpose only for you. There is a finger bowl which generally restaurants provide you. So, you have to clean your fingers within that finger bowl, and then you have to wipe it up with a napkin which has been given to you. And toothpick you can keep with you, and once people disperse, you move to your own place, private place, then you can prick things out of your teeth. Then slurp. Slurp is, you know, some people have this habit, especially while having tea or something hot, they will make when they will swallow, they will make a loud noise while swallowing it, right. So, that noise should be avoided. That gives some kind of a very big relaxation to people when they slurp, but slurp is not the sound which you create while in a formal atmosphere. It should not be done in an informal thing also, when you are dining with your family also, but at least the family there, because you do not have that much of do's and don'ts. So, still it can be considered fine, it can be tolerated, but not in a formal gathering. Then if you want to call the waiter, and you have a spoon in the hand or a fork in the hand or a knife in the hand, and you ask the waiter to come in. No, first put that piece of cutlery down, and then with your hand you can gesture the waiter to come. And you know, the weather is very humid, the face is sweating, and I wipe my face with the napkin. No, that is again a very odd behavior, it should be avoided. Now, coming to the third part of the etiquettes, business etiquettes. Till now we have discussed the appearance based etiquettes, the interpersonal etiquettes. Now we move on to the professionalism based etiquettes, and here we should firstly professional approach is that if you want to borrow some stationery or anything for that matter from someone else, then you should ask before using. Some people have this notion that, oh, it is an official stationery, so why should I ask? No, official stationery, it has been allotted to different people different ways, so you should ask. If somebody uses your stationery without asking, you will also not like it. So, ask before using. Then do not interrupt. In interpersonal, we have emphasized on the importance of listening. Here also professionalism says that first allow the other person to complete his statement, because that shows that you are in a lot of hurry, and you consider the other person's message or whatever he or she wants to say as less important than what you are saying, does not lead to a very cordial situation or a relationship in the organization. So, you should not interrupt others while they are speaking. And then in the office, you have not come to a party, you have not come to a picnic where you have to be very high in volume to say things. You should keep it in a volume which can be heard comfortably by others, but it should not be distracting for the other people who are not concerned with what you are speaking. Then next is that we have already said in interpersonal that arrive on time for meetings, but in other things also, you should, if you do not have regard for your time, you do not value your time, please at least have value for the other person's time. You go sit in somebody's cubicle and keep on gossiping, keep on chatting, the other person is doing something very important, he has to submit it by 5 o'clock in the evening, and you have disturbed him throughout. So, it does not give a very good impression about you. So, you should regard the other person's time. If a certain time has been decided for you both to sit together and work, then you should make yourself available and free at that time. You should not be late. Second thing is, next thing is, do not loiter around someone's cubicle. Suppose you want to speak to somebody, you went to his cubicle, you saw that person was talking on the intercom, he was discussing something important, official, so he is busy or she is busy. So, it feels awkward that you keep on moving around the person's cubicle. Just look for a space to sit, or if your cubicle is nearby, just move to your cubicle, and then a little later you can check with that person on the intercom itself that whether he or she is free, and then you can again go. And a good idea would be that before moving to the other person's cubicle, first confirm on intercom or on the mobile that whether that person is free or not. Then there should be also respect for other people's work. Now, some people have this bad habit that they say that they are under a lot of pressure, they are under a lot of workload, but other people are enjoying, right. So, this is again a very wrong mindset to have. This kills professionalism in the organization. Every work is important, every work has pressure, there may be ups and downs here and there for every job role. So, if you undermine other person's responsibilities and contributions towards the organization, it is you will not be considered as a team member. So, that is again important. Then again in professionalism, other things which we need to take care of are, don't read someone else's faxes, emails, mail or computer screen. So, some people have this habit, we talked about eavesdropping. Some people also want to have what is there in the other person's fax. He has just received a courier, what was there in the courier, let me see who sent the courier, or what is happening on his screen, what is or he is looking at the screen. So, this is again a non-professional behavior. Double check before sending a message or a mail. So, this is important, though the mails also, especially on the phones, the mails there will be a spell prompter also for you and a spell check for you, but still what language you have used, what are the words which you have used, the spellings, everything need to be doubly checked. It is it is a human to commit error. So, you should not feel overconfident that whatever I have written must be right. Don't walk into someone's office unannounced. Just take permission or just ask whether that person is free or not. Then if you are the first to move out from the meeting, then hold the door for the next, which we have discussed in the dining part also. The same applies in the meeting also, that hold the door for the other person. Don't peek in as you walk past the other person's room. Some people have this very bad habit. While they are moving in the corridor, there are cubicles on both the sides, they move like this, looking into what the other people are doing. That is non-professional. Never criticize others' etiquettes. Take care of your etiquettes, but do not talk badly about the other person's etiquette. Yes, if he or she asks feedback, give it in a positive way, but do not make a news about it. Hand over business cards only when seniors ask for it. So, seniors should not be given business cards without them prompting for it, and when receiving a business card, at least give it some importance that you are interested in the person, interested in knowing about him. So, just give a few seconds to the business card before you keep it aside. So, these are the important business etiquettes related to your appearance, related to the interpersonal relationships which you have with other people in the organization, and related to the kind of professionalism and the kind of image you want to portray of yourself and of the organization at large. And I am sure that these are not very difficult to practice in your official or in your personal life. So, I am sure that you have understood them, and also that you will take care of these business etiquettes in your daily life also. Thank you so much.